Here's the male dun skipper. Note that he is overall dark brown with a vague spot band on the hind wing below. The females of the dun and the next two skippers, Little Glassywing and Northern Broken Dash, are often referred to as the witches. Their nickname reflects both their somber color and perhaps their bewitching identification challenges. Besides the dun skipper's even brown coloration, the males show few or no contrasting marks. There may, however, be a slightly yellowish or goldish colored cast to the upper surface of the head and thorax. This male dun skipper's black stigma blends in with the dark brown color. Now, here's the female dun, still basic brown, but note the two small white marks on the upper forewing, one of which is crescent-shaped. The thin spot band on the ventral hindwing is also characteristic of the female dun skipper. Here's Little Glassywing. Note first the overall color, which is lighter than the dun, and may even show a hint of reddish. The ventral hindwing spotting is also more prominent. The best mark, however, is the glassy white area on the forewing. The most prominent of these translucent areas is square in females and rectangular in males. While the other witches may show some white markings, they are never translucent like the Little Glassywing. The last of the witches is Northern Broken Dash. Males have a good deal of orange scaling and show the two-parted or broken stigma for which they are named. Note also the orange flag-like mark at the outer end of the stigma. Females are unlike the males in that they are basically brown. They do have several characteristic forewing marks that are whitish or yellowish. Note the pair in the center of the wing. The outermost of these is somewhat elongated. These spots are typically longer and more prominent than those of dun skipper, and not translucent as in Little Glassywing. Another fairly consistent field mark for Northern Broken Dash is the ventral hindwing band. It is normally relatively heavy and may be roughly shaped like a capital E or a 3. Our next two species, Crossline and Tawny-edged skippers, are lookalikes. This male Crossline skipper is a rather plain yellowish tan. Note, however, the slightly brighter edge to the forewing margin. Another Crossline characteristic to look for is the pale spot band on the hindwing below. A dorsal view of the male Crossline shows his bright upper forewing margin and dark stigmal area. The female Crossline skipper has an altogether different look. She is darker than the male and has several white forewing marks. Her subtle markings might easily qualify her as one of the witches. Note, however, her slightly brighter forewing margin. Female crosslines, like the males, often show several dots or a vague spot band on the hindwing below. Now on to the smaller tawny-edged skipper. In comparison to the crossline, this male shows a brighter forewing margin and dull, almost grayish hindwing, usually lacking any spot band. From above, the male shows his bright forewing margin. Like the crossline female, the tawny-edged female is darker than the male. Note the dull underwing tone. and rather brassy look above. The female tawny-edge also shows some brightness to the forewing margin. Let's face it, this can be a tough duo. In the field, your best clue is overall size. Male crosslines also show less contrast between the hindwing and forewing margin than do tawny-edge. So which one do you think this is, crossline or tawny-edged?